meditation as yoga.
This meeting is being recorded.
Because I have been, yeah. Thanks for calling meditation session as a yoga session, because yoga, the real meaning of yoga is meditation.
Thank you. I mean, I saw the meeting invite as yoga, so I kind of assumed it.
Yeah, sure. There are 2 recordings from the previous 2 classes.
Okay.
There will be a recording of this class also. So what you do is you get that recording from Mr. Sundar or myself or somebody and listen to them after this class in the next days. You have a 1 week time. And also you listen to this class recording, only then you will understand.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Sure. So shall we begin? Relax. Sit straight, push your hip up 6 points, relax. Relax your hands, relax your feet. Relax your abdominal muscle. Relax your eyes, relax your mouth. Relax your jaw. Relax your shoulders and hands. Relax your abdominal muscles. Feel the relaxation in your toes. Relax inside the back of the neck. Inside the back of the neck. As you sit quietly, just with a little effort in the hip to keep you straight up, and the 6 points, eyes, mouth, shoulders and hands, abdominal muscle, toes in your feet, inside the back of the neck. These are the 6 points. As you keep them relaxed, staying committed to remaining effortless in your intention, you will see that your attention settles down. Your mind, your background attention settles down in the rhythm of the breathing without you having to do anything. Stay like that while we start the class with a prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Hanau Bhunaktu Sahavevyam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhetamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hare Om. Gently open your eyes. I'll keep changing the screen. I think the recording happens irrespective of what I do on my screen, correct? I'll keep changing the screen to have a look at everyone. I don't know, I keep looking at my face. Right. So in the last class, last two classes, we saw the basics of meditation. We saw especially in the last class, we saw what is the point of practicing meditation. That's what we saw. That while meditating, during the time of meditation, you don't have a specific goal in the sense of having to arrive at an experience. During meditation, we stay committed to the process, the technique of meditation, and don't look for any particular result. What is the result of meditation? Is what we called as the meditation muscle. Like how in physical fitness, we develop muscles and we develop the conditions inside that develops the muscles over a period of time. Similarly, in meditation, we develop the conditions in our mind that will help us to develop the meditative quality inside us that will extend to the everyday life situations. And the everyday life situations, when you are faced with the samskaras created during meditation, having them in the background, when we face our everyday life, the everyday situations help us to develop the meditation muscle. So it is a dynamic interaction. It's like an interdependent thing. The time during meditation helps in our everyday situations. The interaction in everyday situation helps us to strengthen the meditative quality inside us. So this is how it goes. And as a result, what we will find is we will be in a better position. Two aspects. One, we will be in a better position to handle agitation. So we used two words, agitation and meditation. They are two opposites. The opposite of meditation is agitation. The opposite of agitation is meditation. So we will learn how to turn the tide of the agitation at its source. We will be able to trace a mental disturbance at its source and turn its tide. We will be able to trace a certain reaction pattern inside us and address the cause cognitively in awareness, whatever it is. For example, let us say you have a urge. Let us say you have an urge to eat potato chips. Now, a normal non-meditator, how do they control? They don't eat the potato chips. They try to divert their attention to something else. They do something else, or they go and drink some water. So they are basically finding external means for quietening the inner urge that pushes them toward, that is the push to make them eat the potato chips, right? So they are finding different ways to quieten that push through different external methods to quieten that push to eat, or you divert it, or you eat something else that is healthier and that replaces this and brings down the that urge to eat, or they just sit and manage and they bite their teeth and make sure that they wait for that desire to die down. So this is how most people manage everyday desires. So there seems to be an entire circuit in the body that starts creating a demand, and we are in constant conflict with that. In fact, the more a person is a non-vegetarian who drinks alcohol or smokes and is excessively result oriented in a very aggressive way of life, or does too much of fitness, this making the muscles tight, etc. So these people will experience the demand of the body in a more tangible way and feel a disconnect with the source of the urges. It will be like as though another person inside you. There will be like another person inside you wanting you to do stuff, and then you are constantly fighting with that person. This the split between that organic person inside you and the conscious person inside you is larger in a non-vegetarian and lesser in a vegetarian. This I have seen by experience also. I know how it works inside, and also I have talked with them, and then I have tried certain things and seen how it actually affects the system. And then I also know how to come out of it, what techniques to use and things like this. So because this I found a lot in Westerners, and nowadays the latest generation, especially the ones who are eating all kinds of things, they have this more. The point of what you call as Shuddhi, Bhuta Shuddhi, Chitta Shuddhi, and all that we call in tradition, is to be able to minimize this gap between the body, something inside you, like the unconscious you, functioning independently like a person and asserting itself very strongly. That is the reason for stress, basically. So what we want to do, that is why we have this very famous dialogue in Mahabharata. There is one, it seems Duryodhana used to say, I know what is dharma, I cannot do it. I know what is adharma, I cannot stop from doing it. It's as though there is somebody else inside me who is pushing me to do this. It's very typical, this is you can experience it exactly. It's like if you so a person, if they want to develop the quality of meditation, when they want to live a meditative life, they have to, if they are non-vegetarians, they have to minimize the non-vegetarian, or in fact, until they develop that quality of meditativeness, if they leave non-vegetarian food for a few years, it will be very useful. Non-vegetarian food and meditation don't go together. Similarly, alcohol, cigarette, and all those drugs that that alter your brain chemistry very strongly, they don't go together. Actually, ideally speaking, even if we don't drink coffee, it's better. This is ideal. But there are things that affect a little bit less. The effect goes away fast, so those things can be managed. But there are some things which leave a very strong residual impact in the system. They take a long time to leave the system, and the effect is very different. They change the way your prana is working. They change the way your consciousness is aligned with the body. So especially this meat and alcohol, they make your consciousness gross. And also the gap between your conscious self and the organic self becomes very wide. So a person who wants to meditate can use the discipline of eating sattvic food, or at least vegetarian food, that is not very stimulating, and preferably can avoid onion, garlic, asafoetida, and all those things for a few months, like 6 months or 7 months. When you avoid these foods, it will be easy to get into that mode of meditation. So once you tap into that background subtle mind, once you have access there and develop that muscle, a little bit you can play around here and there, and it will not affect you that much. But in the beginning stages, for 6 months to 1 year, a diet restriction based on sattvic food, like what is recommended in Bhagavad Gita, if you read chapter 14, chapter 16, 17, it talks about sattvic food and all that in Bhagavad. So just choose whatever is sattvic, and also you can ask any Ayurvedic doctor what kind of sattvic foods are useful for your prakriti. These things will help you. So like that, if you do, the gap between the conscious us and the organic instinctive self will narrow down, and it will be easy to access the control points in the back end. So what happens is, when we are meditating, when we want to meditate, this samskara that we develop, the samskara of accessing, just like in fitness, when we do some exercises and then we suddenly find we can climb the stairs more easily, we suddenly find that we get less tired and we have more energy, we suddenly find that we are panting less when we suddenly have to run. So similarly, in meditation, even in the beginning stages, when you do regularly, you will find that you are not that much affected by the usual stressful situations, and your recovery from a stressful situation will be very fast. You will recover very fast. This is, it's not even for meditation. Patanjali says this about asana. When you master asana, he says, Atad Vandwan Anabhighataka. The individual is not affected by the pairs of opposites. So that at the instinct level, you will develop a certain level of resistance when you practice Hatha Yoga. That helps you to, that gives you the space that you need for practicing meditation to develop the resilience in the mind. Right? So, Hatha Yoga or the asana, pranayama, etc., they help in preparing us for meditation. In there is a text called Hatha Yoga Pradipika. In that, the author says the only purpose of Hatha Yoga is attainment or perfection of Raja Yoga. Hatha Yoga is the asana, physical and all that. Raja Yoga is basically meditation. So the main purpose of Hatha Yoga is to prepare us for meditation. So that is the purpose. The whole Hatha Yoga is designed for that. The therapeutic benefits, the fitness benefits, etc., are all peripheral. They are peripheral initial benefits that complement the actual benefit, which prepares you for, which gives you the space, the inner space that you need for the meditative experience. That comes from diet and Hatha Yoga, basically. Right? So taking care of that, we remember that when we want to meditate, we are not looking for a particular experience. This is the most important point. And we don't try to repeat an experience. One day you have a nice experience, another day you don't have. Another someday it is like a hell. But if you are staying committed to the process of meditation, you are doing a good meditation. So how do you decide? Today my meditation was good. Today my meditation is not good. How do you decide that? You decide based on how much I was able to stick to the meditation process. How much I was able to stick to the meditation process and how much I was able to come back to it. You suddenly lose your ground. I mean, we lose the track. We start, we start going behind a distraction. I'm not telling that we get distracted. All of us get distracted, including me. I get distracted. Getting distracted is not a point. The point is the distraction carrying us away? So the more we get carried away by distraction, and sometimes what happens, we become too much self-conscious that, oh my God, we are getting distracted. And we start struggling. We give up the process. We forget the meditation method. We change the method. What we do, we start physically straining. We start, wrinkling our eyes, straining our eyes, biting our teeth, or trying to control and trying to hold the breath and then trying to force the mind to concentrate. These are all wrong methods. So we discussed in the last class what is the method. You stay that 6 points relaxed, don't disturb the 6-point relaxation, and you keep the mantra going as a whisper. This is one method, meditation method. Between two mantras, you observe your background restlessness or your different tendencies that take you away from meditation, but don't try to control them. Basically, you become aware of your tendency to control the agitation and let go of the tendency. Let go of the tendency to control your agitation. Remember your meditation and come back to the meditations. Keep going, keep sticking to the process of relaxed, straight sitting and soundless whisper of the mantra with the visualization of the deity in front of you. Like this, just in front of you. Simple. You think you are inside a Garbhagraha of the temple, or in front of the sanctum sanctorum, and then you feel the deity, the presence, the visualization that comes from memory without pushing. No, you don't have to start painting your deity. No, you don't have to start seeing every detail. A overall vague presence is enough, and the memory will bring it automatically. What we are trying to access in visualizing a deity, I will come to that. So when you keep doing that, there is a tendency to pull you away. You are aware of the tendency. You are aware of your reaction and trying to control, let go of your wanting to control the distraction. Just gently remember what you are doing. Come back to the process. Keep repeating that. Just keep coming back to the commitment to stay with the deity and mantra as a soundless whisper, while you let go of your tendency to react to the agitation. Agitation is a strong word, but it's easy to remember. So I am saying, whatever is the distraction that pulls you away, you tend to control that and focus. Don't try to focus. Just remember what you have to do now and let go of your reaction to what is pulling you away. It's called indifference. Cultivate indifference. You don't go with it. You don't try to suppress it. Upeksha, it is called. You cultivate an indifference and then you stay with the process. While you keep on doing that, what happens? Slowly the background starts converging. Right? Slowly the background starts converging, and once in a while you can take a few deep breaths. You can breathe consciously and deeply while repeating the mantra. That will help to bring back the back. That will help to reduce the impact of the background agitation once in a while. So today I will teach another technique of the total reverse of that. Now what we are doing, what we learned in the last class, we are using the meditation process in the front end, and we are being non-reactive to the back end. Right? This is what we learned from last class. In this class, what we will learn is how to stay with the deep breathing in the front end, how to keep your egoistic or how to keep your conscious self engaged in creating the conditions and let your background go into the meditation. So that we will learn today. But before we go into that, so when we are doing this whisper, soundless whisper, staying with the deity, it's just a vague. What we are trying to awaken is when the background, when the background agitation calms down to a certain point and you continue to stay committed in the process, the visualization of the deity comes automatically. How does it come? In a dream, for example, in a dream, we are able to see things very vivid, like now you're able to see the phone, your laptop or whatever. You see my image, how clearly you see. Suppose if this is a dream, in the dream you see, right? The dream you really go, you feel like, you are, let us say you are in a dream, let's say you are visiting a temple. In the dream, it's really the temple, the puja is going on, the deity is there, you see all the details, right? You see the arm, the feet and all that, and you have a very elating dream, and you wake up saying, oh, it was such a vivid experience. I was in the sanctum sanctorum I was in the Garbhagriha of the temple, and I had this nice darshan in my dream, you say. So how is it so vivid? How the mind is able to recreate an experience from memory, so vivid the mind is able to recreate. So this capacity is in the mind. We are not trying in a dream to visualize. You see, in a dream we don't try to visualize. The visualization happens. Similarly, in meditation, in this process of meditation we learned in the last class, if you just stick to the process, once the background has let go of all its obsessions, like I said in the first class, all the cows have done grazing and they come and sit next to the cow herd while he's playing flute, and they are munching quietly. So the background becomes quiet and just sits, and it is kind of a laya. It is available for the task. It is not disturbing the task, and then it starts becoming available for the task. When the background starts becoming available for the meditation task, it's it immediately creates the visual that you need. It creates like a dream. You are accessing the power of the subconscious mind that creates a dream that will automatically awaken and create the visualization of the deity. You don't push yourself to visualize. You just have a vague idea that you are in front of the deity. There is this deity, the presence, a basic idea. You feel that you are in the sensation, the feeling of being in front of the deity, wherever. One of the very easy things that can help you is you can remember a nice moment that you had in your puja, or you can remember a nice moment that you had at the darshan in a temple. When you remember that moment, you can relive those sensations, the feelings, and the, or you can go and visit a temple regularly. That will help you in meditation. So you have the darshan, you come back, you sit in the temple. After the darshan, you sit in the temple, and then you live that sensation for a few minutes and go home. So that keeps creating the samskara. Once it creates the samskara in the meditation, you just have to bring it back. Just remember the moment, think you are in that situation, feel that you are in the temple, and start the chanting, the soundless whisper. And then slowly, as the subconscious mind, the background kicks in, it will create the vivid imagery automatically, effortlessly, without you having to do absolutely anything. So this is how you do the visualization meditation. This is how it is. So you don't push it. You let the mind bring it up. Right now, this is the add-on to the technique we learned in the last class. So today I will tell you another technique. How to handle the background. So we are going to try now, right? All of you sit straight. If you need, maybe you flex your legs a little bit and come back to the position so that you can sit with a decent comfort for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Let's do 3 or 5 sets of Nadi Shuddhi. Push your hip up. Inhale in the left. Change the nostril. Exhale in the right nostril. I think this everybody knows. It's a common stuff. Then inhale in the right nostril. Close the right, open the left. Exhale in the left nostril. Let your breathing in. The breathing in can be fast, in the sense non-restricted. Don't restrict your breathing in, but slow down your breathing out. Inhale without restriction. Exhale with control. Gradually exhale completely. It begins in the left, ends in the left. Inhale in the left, exhale in the right. Inhale in the right, exhale in the left. This is 1. Like that, you can do 5. Whoever is finished, and sit straight. Push your hip up. Six points relaxed. Sit straight, hip up, 6 points relaxed, and close your eyes. Allow the mind to settle down in the breathing. Our usual, what we do. Deciding to be effortless and allowing the mind to settle down on the rhythm of the breath. And once your awareness is steady on the natural rhythm of breathing, elongate the breath. As the breath comes in, breathe in a little more. As the breath goes out, breathe out completely. And gradually take control of the entire breathing process. That is, from the beginning of inhalation until the end of exhalation, the entire breathing cycle is consciously controlled by you. It's not natural breath. It is a consciously controlled breath. While you keep the body straight, hip up, 6 points relaxed, you do this controlled, conscious, continuous breathing where you maintain a steady momentum. Momentumனா the force. மூச்சு உள்ள இழுக்க ஆரம்பிச்சதுல இருந்து வெளியில விட்டு முடிக்கிற வரைக்கும் ஒரே ஃபோர்ஸ் மெயின்டைன் பண்ணணும். You have to maintain a constant force of the breath from the beginning of inhalation until the end of exhalation. If you take a few deep breaths, it will be easy to do. The breath should be a little deeper than natural. The volume of the breath inhalation should be a little more than what comes naturally. And the volume of exhalation, the exhalation must be complete. You have to empty your lungs completely and feel the exhalation till the last point where you feel the abdominal contraction. Keep breathing like this while you relax your eyes, relax your mouth, shoulders and hands, relax your feet. Relax in the back of the neck. While you keep doing this, in the background, there are a lot of thoughts, whatever ideas, something you remember, something you think of. I say idli chutney, then automatically in the background, while you are doing this breathing, the mind thinks of idli chutney effortlessly. Now that is the zone of the mind that we need to tap. You are sitting straight, maintaining a conscious, deep, controlled breath. The steady force of breathing from the beginning of inhalation till the end of exhalation. To achieve this, it will take some 3-4 minutes. When it is done, that is, once you have achieved that, you sustain this state. The physical, your conscious commitment right now is to keep your steady posture, the relaxation in the main points, eyes, mouth, shoulders and hands, feet, back of the neck, feeling the relaxation here while sitting straight and maintaining a steady control over the breathing process. How slow you must breathe. You should not feel like wanting to take more breath. மூச்சு திணறக்கூடாது கொஞ்சம் கூட. அதே சமயத்துல you should not feel dizzy. Like you are breathing too fast, you start feeling dizzy. You should not do that. Should not happen. At the same time, you are controlling the breath too much. You feel like stopping. You feel like taking a deep breath. That also should not happen. So maintain the steady speed of the breath, force of the breath that allows you to sustain the speed without wanting to take a deep, fast breath, without panting for breath, and without making you dizzy. This itself is an exercise. To come to this point itself, you need practice. So we try that first now. This technique is what creates the psychophysical conditions you need for meditation, of harnessing the background effortlessly. What we are going to try now is laya, how to bring the background mind into laya. That's what we are going to try. Adukku, for that, this creates the condition required. Keep doing it, and what I will be giving some suggestions. You see from where your mind responds to this suggestion, and try to stay aware in that place. Wherever the mind responds to my suggestion, stay aware in that place while you maintain the steady posture and the steady breathing. Just recognize your mental background response. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is maintain this posture, maintain the steady breathing with your conscious commitment, with your willful mind. You are doing this, but recognizing the response from the background when I give suggestions. Six plus 3. Bread and butter. Your favorite song. What's your name? Remember your deity. Don't even try to make an effort in the front end. Eyes, mouth, everything is relaxed. Sitting straight and deep breathing. This is what you are doing. When I say bread and butter, something comes effortlessly, right? So when I say the name of God, the mantra, whatever comes effortlessly in the background, stay with that. And the moment when you had a darshan in a temple, of this deity or a picture, whichever you like, the form of the deity that you like. The form represented by this name that you remember now. Now just let your background hover around this. While you sit straight, continue the controlled, steady breathing. Whenever you find yourself thinking about something else, just remember and come back to this subject of the name and the form of the deity. In the background, absolutely no effort. In the body level, you are only sitting straight. Consciously, you are controlling the posture, controlling the breathing and maintaining it, while letting the background collect around this and gently dwell upon the name and the form of the Lord. Once the background is kind of steady on it, you can let go of the breathing and enjoy the alignment you have with your chosen object of meditation, the chosen divinity for meditation, the alignment that you have, the connection that you feel in the background. Just stay with that and continue to allow the mind to dwell upon. When you feel a little dull or vague, again start the conscious, controlled, deep breathing, sitting straight. Usually, if you get a good intensity, it will last for a few seconds or like a half a minute. Again, you will have to start breathing. So you get like 2-3 times, you get that intensity, and then you can leave it. Okay. Now this is the technique. Gently open your eyes and stop the breathing. So in this technique, it's like, did you all understand this concept? Why I was giving suggestions when I say bread and butter, idlis, or your name? I gave different kind of suggestions. Effortlessly, the background brings up the object of the suggestion. Correct? Effortlessly, you are just sitting, you are breathing. I just say idli sambar and it just comes. You don't have to even think. You don't even try to think. Right? Similarly, what you do, you sit, decide to meditate and keep the body straight, start the deep breathing. Once you are steady, the breath is steady, controlled, and you are steady away, gently remember what you have to meditate about. Just gently allow the background to remember, and slowly it will start coming on the deity. It's very, very important to consciously not put effort of chanting in the mouth. Absolutely no effort on your tongue. It's the total opposite of what I told in the last class. Because in the last class, we are staying committed in the buddhi with the meditation process and allowing the background chitta to catch up. Now what we are doing is, we are learning to keep the buddhi from not interfering, doing a steady process of breathing and creating the conditions. We are using the buddhi to create the conditions and learning to tap the buttons in the background. This is called laya, right? So this is laya. So we are trying to bring the laya, the source of the laya. So this is a different approach. So one is yes, last class we had one approach, front end approach. Today we learned the back end approach. So you keep doing these two alternately, you will arrive at a certain level of integrity inside. And when you sit for meditation, you will be able to bring the entire mind together. Very effortlessly, you can bring it together. So whichever, because sometimes it is easy to tap the background. When you are very relaxed and chill, it's easy to tap the background. But when you are very confused or agitated, when you are too distracted and involved in things, to get yourself back, also, you can use that when you are very anxious, when your ego is very active, to bring the ego back, let your ego allow yourself to meditate. You can use the last class technique of soundless whisper and front end while letting the back end catch up. So in different situations, you will see one approach works better than the other approach. So we have to combine these two approaches, the front end approach and the back end approach. The front end approach of the previous class and the back end approach of this class. We can combine these two in our own intelligent combination and slowly master the process of meditating on a form of divinity with the name Nama Rupa. It's called, basically, this is dhyana, and this is the traditional meditation. So what you do is, when you allow the background to dwell upon any subject connected, you don't have to worry about the pronunciation. In the last class, when you are using a soundless whisper, you are focusing on pronunciation, you are focusing on the intonation, you are focusing on the name, the chanting, the feeling of the word. But here it's a completely opposite. You don't bother about pronunciation, you just remember the name. But let us say we are saying, let us say Chennai. I am in Chennai. So which city I am in? I want to say Chennai. But before I say Chennai, I am thinking the word Chennai. I am remembering the word Chennai. Similarly, here also in the meditation, before pronouncing the name of the Lord, you remember that name, right? You just remember the name. Just stay there and don't try to pronounce. The effort to pronounce, drop it. The only effort you are making is to sustain the steady, controlled breath. Everything else happens in a natural flow in the background. You just have to remember, come back, remember. That's it. The rest will happen in the background automatically. So here we are training the faculty called Smriti. So Buddhi and Smriti, these two help each other. In I think in second chapter Bhagavad Gita, it says, Dhyayate Vishayan Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaka Sangastesho Pujayate. One shloka is there. That he says, when your agitation takes over too much, when your desire and anger controls the mind too much, what you get is Smriti Vibhramaha. Smriti Vibhramaha means your Smriti, the faculty of Smriti, what to do when, that gets disturbed. And when there is Smriti Vibhramaha, leads to Buddhi Nasha. Buddhi Nashat Pranashyati. It comes in chapter 2. You just Google that verse. It's Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa. It comes in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2. If you see the commentary for that verse, you will understand. Smriti and Buddhi are connected. That is why in Buddhist meditation also, they practice what is called Anapanasati. Anapanasati is Prana Apana Smriti. Bringing your Smriti back. They train the Smriti a lot. So that's what we learned. In the last class, we are training the Buddhi. In this class, we have learned to train the Smriti. When these two combine together, they support each other and your meditation becomes a cakewalk. Absolutely. Right? Please practice this. Maybe listen to the previous class video once more and this class video. Every day, once in 2 days, then try it out, experiment, you play with it. Like you get a skateboard for a kid, how the kid is always playing and getting and mastering it. Like that, you are going to work with your mind. That's how you learn to meditate, right? Okay. Take care. Have a nice weekend. And please use some of your weekend. Remember, the diet restriction helps in meditation. So consider that aspect also. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnam पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Thank you.